Hi guys, welcome to Off the Fringe.
On the Fringe.
Are we on it?
On it.
Are we on it though?
We're never on it.
We're about to go off in the deep end because Dalton wants to talk about the Titanic sub.
What is it called?
Here in the Ocean Gate Titan.
The Subnautica?
It's Titan.
It's Titan. The company's name is Ocean Gate.
Hence it was called Titan and they were going to see the Titanic.
I'm gonna put our non-sponsor but could be sponsored drink right there.
So here on the Fringe, talk about all things we're not supposed to. Also playing a little golf. Speaking of things we're not supposed to talk about.
No, we're going to talk about it.
Dalton wants to start it off with the Titanic, or the Ocean Gate Titan, going to see the Titanic.
I do.
Well, let's start it off with you. What do you want to talk about it?
Well, I want to go into the conspiracy aspect straight into it.
Let's jump into that.
I mean, I'm just going to jump that head first, man.
I just want to know that, like, everybody's been talking about a sequel to Titanic for, like, years.
Well, like the memes
Finally
would
got
say, they got the full experience. Anyway,
$50,000 worth.
my opinion is the people... I don't even know, man. They're not dead. They're not dead.
Okay.
I just converted you within the last 5 minutes?
Okay.
Because now you got me in my head thinking.
Please
Let
explain.
me go a little irrational, and then we'll dive
They're not
off.
dead.
All right,
You got me.
So
You got me. You convinced me.
The official stories that was announced Thursday that they found. It was announced Thursday that they imploded, they died. But there's also reports that the U.S. Navy was like, no, we detected it Sunday. We just didn't tell you. And a lot of people are normally like, they're doing this to cover up shit, so you don't talk about it. I mean, Joe Biden did get articles of impeachment filed against him this week, and seems like no one knows about that. Not saying it's going to go anywhere, but
Hunter Biden gets off on gun charges.
Hunter Biden got off on gun charges. That would normally, he pleaded guilty to gun charges. I would get 10 years. He got probation.
House arrest.
Yeah, house arrest. Yeah,
In the White House?
maybe.
Probably not.
But,
He's probably in Delaware.
So when I called Kevin and explained this show to him, I was like, gave him the example about them using it to cover up, and his first response was,
They ain't dead.
So I'm gonna allow Kevin to elaborate.
We'll go ahead and let y'all know they're not dead. There's no way in hell that a billionaire is gonna get on a tin can that is run by a $33 Logitech controller. I mean, he didn't make all that money being stupid. I'm pretty sure once he saw it, he was like, no, guys, I think I'm out. I don't think I'm going to do this. But yet, they got everybody believing there were 5 people dead in the bottom of the ocean somewhere. No, that was the empty hole. There wasn't nobody in there.
But wasn't it
Like, who's going to pay $250,000 to go jump in a tuna can
James
with
Cameron?
a 33... Huh?
James Cameron. He did it.
Yeah, he also, that was an actual sub. That was a mini sub.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, hey, here's a tuna can. Here's the $33 Logitech controller. Why don't you go on down there
We
and
just waterproof this Crown Vic.
press X a few times. You'll hit the thrust.
So people found that controller on Amazon and they left reviews on it.
No.
One of my favorite reviews was 1 star. Down works, up don't.
Wasn't the captain or the whatever for it like a diversity hire anyways?
Yeah, that was another thing that came out this week is they intentionally didn't hire like some 55-year-old, I think he was 55-year-old white engineer because of diversity. So everything makes way more sense now. Did you also know the design flaw in that thing is even if they resurfaced, let's say they didn't implode, they couldn't get out because they're bolted from the outside.
Yeah.
So you have to get somebody outside and fucking undo the bolts.
Conspiracy theorists say Q was behind all this. Because there were 17 bolts holding it in on the outside.
What does 17 mean, Kevin?
What is
17, the 17th letter of the alphabet is Q. Q's the concept and PSYOP that's running the government and everything. They're just taking out all the bad guys, so they say.
Kevin, do you believe that?
Some things do make you actually wonder. But as far as just Q being in control of everything, man, the world's full of wicked and evil, and they ain't controlling everybody.
Q, in my opinion, Q is a PSYOP. It's the same thing that the Soviets did whenever they took over Russia during the Soviet revolution. They said, someone's coming to protect you. It's okay. Trust in the plan. Yeah, it was a plan. It was the fucking communists.
Speaking of Russia,
Wait,
Because I had heard this morning when first thing I did was open up TikTok
I
this
saw some
morning.
TikTok
Next
too.
thing I want to talk about was that. Good segue.
The Wagner mercenaries were backed by the American government.
What?
Well,
I didn't see that.
So
No, the theory is because they did a whole briefing the other day about the Pentagon being over $6.2 billion, that somewhere in that $6.2 billion, Wagner mercenaries are being funded.
So let me explain this to the audience in case they don't know. As you know, Russia and Ukraine have been at war.
If they don't know that by now, I swear to God.
I'm not talking about that. They've been at war. We're fucking independently funding them. We're involved as much as they claim we're not. We're funding them. Personally, I fucking hate both sides.
I'm pulling for Putin.
strong Putin support right there.
I don't know. I'm kind of pulling for Ukraine because the trailer that did you see the commercial that they put out?
No.
Because it's all a movie according to Q.
Right, right after, right before Russia went dark, Ukraine put out a commercial of just soldiers just hushing them, and then they were like, starting silence or something like that.
It's a lot of propaganda.
Boy, Russia ain't dark. There's a lot of white folks over there.
Bros falling for the propaganda.
I thought it was hilarious.
Anyway, Wagner Group is a mercenary group that primarily works for Russia. They're PMCs. They don't have loyalty. They're fucking paid soldiers.
Should have joined them.
They have been the main ones fighting in the Ukraine war. In fact, the Ukrainians have said, I'm not worried about the Russian soldiers. They're kind of inept, but the fucking Wagners are badass. They're operators. So, this morning, or last night, yesterday, the Wagners supposedly have turned on Russia and say they're going to take out the defense minister. They're trying to head towards Moscow and take over the building, whatever. They're kind of calling it like a civil war. Anytime there's a civil war in a country, especially one that the U.S. doesn't like, I'm like, CIA. So,
CIA.
like Kevin said, $6.2 billion went missing from, was it billion? Yeah, $6.2 billion went missing from the Pentagon this past week. And now all of a sudden this mercenary group who works for money is like, you know what, I'm going to fight for the same interests as America. So, kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, we're also strong 2A advocates, just so you know, because guns are life and so are titties and beer. But other than that, yeah. That's my stance on.
That's my stance.
Degenerate.
Guns, tits, and
Now,
beer.
can I play devil's advocate 1 second though?
Yeah.
Just to cover our own selves.
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna cover myself. Regards to the submarine Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the conspiracy comes up to be false, and they did die in the submarine, which I don't think they did, but if they did, I want it to be known that we're not making fun of those people that died. Kevin might be.
I'm gonna show you a meme in a little bit.
All right, I just want to cover myself.
Well, personally, I think they're dead.
Yeah.
Back to that story, I think they fucking died. I think they died because they were stupid, honestly. That's my... In fact, did you know there was another billionaire who, was intending to get in the boat or whatever, and then he saw the submarine, he saw the controller, and he's like, yeah, I want my money back.
That was all the billionaires because they're not stupid.
And he was!
Nobody was in it. They sat down a 55-gallon aluminum barrel and it imploded on itself.
Like a propane tank.
You know what you should do? A 3 a.m. session with the people that died.
Oh my god.
J Station.
Submarine.
Q, by the way.
What is Q?
It's a psyop, according to Jordan.
It's a psyop. It's a conspiracy theory. The Q. You ever heard of QAnon?
I've heard of QAnon, but I never know what it is.
So basically, I don't know the full history of it, but it's like trust the plan and all this. Basically, they think it's a secret government in the background that's good, that's run by Trump, that's going to take over the real.
It ain't run by Trump.
Trump was a member.
JFK Jr. running that thing.
JFK, that's right. He's JFK Jr., who's died in 1999, by the way.
Supposedly.
In a plane crash.
Supposedly.
Is his body presence like Walt Disney?
He's the new Kennedy running for president.
No, that's different.
Robert F.
I like him. Anyway, JFK Jr. is the leader of the QAnon, and he is the secret government that's arresting all these bad government actors or whatever, and you don't have to do anything. Trust the plan, which is why it's like, this is a psyop. They just want you to not do anything.
That fake mask Biden got on looks awful convincing sometimes.
Okay. This is one thing I've always wanted to talk about. Because like someone did a clip of Biden for like 10 years ago the other day, and it looked like somebody completely different.
Yeah.
And like no one talks about that. Like, hey, that's not even the same person.
Everybody talks about it except them dumbasses.
So most of the country.
Yeah, pretty
Everybody.
much.
Everybody.
All right.
Sooner or later, people are going to wake up and realize that the government hates us. And we're just out here playing golf like it's a typical Saturday.
We're just out here talking about shit.
Hey, articles of impeachment are about to get pushed on Biden.
Yeah.
Saw that.
On what
Lauren-
grounds?
Lauren Boebert.
He's stupid? What the fuck else you think? Incompetent to do his fucking job.
You know, I didn't actually read the articles of impeachment because there's not much news coverage on it. I imagine it's probably his ties with China because there's been a lot of documents released in the past couple weeks.
Oh, yeah, they're hiding that too.
Uh,
Bribery charges.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know one thing. Well, two. One thing we didn't talk about the Russia thing, which is fucking terrifying because if Russia really is going through a fucking civil war and we are funding it, they have nukes. We're on the closest brink of nuclear war in history. And everyone's
No,
like,
besides the
Sometimes you gotta get
Cold
trigger happy.
War.
no, we're probably closer now.
Ooh.
Sometimes you gotta get a little trigger happy.
The second thing is, speaking of war, we basically said fuck Taiwan this past week. We're like, yeah,
China
we don't
can have them.
yeah, we don't recognize Taiwan's independence, which I'm not a pro-war guy, so I don't care. But
Can't wait for this.
This is another thing that popped up. JP Morgan and BlackRock are trying to set up an account and everything else to rebuild Ukraine after this war is over.
Really?
And guess what else is going to happen? Somewhere in these contracts and everything they're signing, it's basically going to give up their mineral rights where they can get Halliburton and other companies in there to go pump oil out of them while we can't do it here.
that was the James O'Keefe Project Veritas video, right? Where they had the undercover.
No, that was just a different dude talking. That dude was talking about war's good for us. I saw that interview.
Yeah, the James
O'Keefe? Yeah. He always sends them pretty women in, sucker in them young, rich idiots.
Bro, could you imagine? Like, I think someone had a joke. It's just like, if you work for like a shady company and some hot woman just approaches you and like she's immediately asking about your job.
She's a gold digger.
She works for James O'Keefe.
She
She's like,
take my money.
so you do what with that? That's very illegal? Speak closer to this to this flower.
Ooh, you smell so good. Talk a little louder.
Please enunciate your words a little better.
Slow down on the alcohol. You're starting to slur.
One of my favorite James O'Keefe's video was when he was getting somebody, I think, for the vaccine stuff. And like the dude was like, "You don't work for James O'Keefe, right?" He fucking asked that in the interview.
Why would I? Why?
What?
Who's that guy?
Speaking of Elon Musk.
Oh
Oh,
yes,
the fight.
Yes.
the cage fight.
The cage fight.
Wasn't it not too long ago, Dana White talking about, I'm not putting on those circus show fights and everything else, but he's all for this fight now?
He said, I think Dana
Are
White,
you ready?
I think Dana White said it would generate over $100 million. He's estimating.
Of course it
The
would.
battle of the billionaires.
Who would not want to see
All right,
this?
so
I'm taking Elon.
all right, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
let's break it down. Look, Zuck is younger, and he's a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
What the hell that mean?
But
What kind-
Elon is bigger and an android.
What
I know what you're thinking, but Zuck's a lizard. So like,
Them damn lizard people.
Hey, man.
What kind of fight is it?
Reptiles versus androids.
So we going that route, huh? Are we talking about the draconians again, huh?
all they said was
the
it's a
fake people.
all they said was it was a cage fight, and I think Elon said make it MMA or something like that.
If it's MMA, I take Zuck.
No.
If it's boxing, I'll take Elon.
I'm taking Elon either way.
Did you see fucking Andrew Tate and Jorge Masvidal reached out to Elon and was like, I will train you.
That's legit.
What timeline are we in?
And what's the bet?
Hold on, didn't Tate just get arrested again?
Huh?
Yeah,
Who did?
Andrew
Tate.
Tate. Well, it's the same stuff. It's just I think they like finally moving forward or whatever.
Or
it's
or they trying to plant something else on him. Why? Because Top G can't be taken down.
Top G.
like, mad because my goatee looks better.
Only because you can't grow a full beard, bitch.
Shut your mouth.
Anywho.
That's staying in.
I think that's about it. We can wrap this week's segment up with thank you guys for coming to watch. Fuck Jacob. Love Jordan. Dalton, you my boy. And I'm out.